The US military is withdrawing from Afghanistan and the Taliban is gaining control. A reporter asked President Joe Biden if Taliban will take over Afghanistan again, and Biden said no, it won't take over. However, it seems like he lied. The Taliban is growing stronger by the day. As we all know, the Taliban is an extremist group, therefore its comeback is harmful for humanity. In this video, we will be looking at the history of Afghanistan war and what wrongdoings will occur if Taliban regains control over Afghanistan. International conflicts in Afghanistan began in 2001 and it was triggered by September 11 attacks. Al-Qaeda planned the attack. The majority of the 19 hijackers had received training in Afghanistan. Following the attacks, US President George W. Bush administration focused on a plan of first removing the Taliban from Afghanistan. Bush demanded that Taliban leader Muhammad Umar hand over all Al-Qaeda leaders hiding in Afghanistan to the US. And when Umar refused, US officials began implementing a war plan. The campaign in Afghanistan began secretly on September 26, 2001 with a CIA team known as Jawbreaker landing in the country and launching a plot to remove Taliban administration in collaboration with anti-Taliban forces. The CIA team was quickly backed by special forces from United States and UK, who gave the Afghans with weaponry, equipment and advice. They also assisted in the targeting of air campaign which kicked off on October 7, 2001 with US and British warplanes bombing Taliban targets, thus launching Operation Enduring Freedom. Operation Enduring Freedom was the official name used by the US government for the global war of terrorism. The Northern Alliance, which is the military front and an anti-Taliban organization, worked with the US to recover a series of Taliban controlled towns including Kabul, Afghanistan's capital, and Kandahar, the Taliban's spiritual home. And now that Taliban was pushed aside, Hamid Karzai became the president of Afghanistan on interim basis. On October 9, 2004, the first democratic elections in Afghanistan following the Taliban's fall were held, with almost 80% registered voter voting to grant Hamid Karzai a full 5-year term as president. A year later, parliamentary elections were held with dozens of women running for seats set aside for them to ensure gender diversity. And it looked like all the conflict appeared to be won with great ease at first. Secretary of Defense of the United States Donald Rumsfeld announced the end of major fighting in Afghanistan, but he was wrong. Hamid Karzai was not a good choice to lead the country. Afghanistan needed a strong leader to build the country. However, as per many political experts, Karzai was a weak leader. He escaped many assassination attempts and security concerns kept him mostly confined to Kabul's president's palace. And the government of Afghanistan, which was led by Hamid, was totally corrupt and weak. Beginning in 2005, violence increased as the Taliban regained its position with new tactics inspired by Iraqi terrorists. In the most recent tactics, suicide bombers and buried bombers were used, resulting in substantial losses. Meanwhile, all the international organizations and US switched their attention to Iraq, which is why Taliban reappeared in Afghanistan. The US Congress approved just over $38 billion in humanitarian and reconstruction aid to Afghanistan between 2001 and 2009. However, this money was not effectively used and there was a lot of corruption as well. During the Afghanistan war, the United States, the UK, Canada, Germany and 20 other countries all lost soldiers. As the battle progressed and the number of casualties increased, the war lost support in many Western countries, leading to domestic political pressure to keep soldiers out of extreme danger or to withdraw them completely from Afghanistan. Taxpayers in these countries were also unhappy that their money was being wasted on a conflict that was not in their best interest. However, as other countries lost interest in Afghanistan, the Taliban made more money and became more dangerous. Taliban increased the frequency of attacks and they were making more money from the Persian Gulf's wealthiest individuals and organizations. Afghanistan's booming opium business was another source of revenue. Afghanistan soon became the supplier of over 90% of world's opium. But as the Taliban grew in strength, President Barack Obama entered the picture. He went to White House promising to focus attention and resources on the war efforts in Afghanistan. General Stanley, who was leading US troops in Afghanistan, made a new strategy, one in which US soldiers concentrated on defending civilians from terrorists rather than attempting to kill huge number of terrorists, trying to convince enemy forces to surrender as well as promoting settlement between Karzai government and Taliban commanders were all part of the new strategy. However, when General Stanley judged that he did not have enough troops to carry out the new strategy, President Obama authorized a massive increase in the war efforts, with 30,000 extra troops being deployed to Afghanistan. On March 8, 2010, Obama made his first trip to Afghanistan as president, telling Hamid that his government needs to be cleaned up of corruption. As in August 2009 election, Hamid was re-elected for a 5-year term. Hamid Karzai promised in his address to the nation to eliminate corruption, but he made almost no efforts to do so. Meanwhile, Pakistan was supporting the Taliban, providing them with money to intelligence. Then comes May 2011. The major reason for the start of Afghanistan conflict was killed. Osama bin Laden was dead. The following month, US Secretary of Defense Robert Gates announced for the first time that the US government was holding peace negotiations with Taliban, but he highlighted that the conversations were still in early stages. Obama announced an early pullout schedule for US troops from Afghanistan, claiming that US had mostly achieved its objective by disrupting Al-Qaeda's operations and killing many of its leaders. France would also begin to withdraw its 4,000 soldiers from Afghanistan. In September, efforts to end the long-running conflict suffered a setback when Burhanuddin Rabin, a former Afghan president and a key figure in peace negotiations, was assassinated by suicide bombers. A series of instances worsened the relationship between the US and Afghanistan government and sparked public anger, including a video of US Marines peeing on a dead Afghan, and that video went viral and US had to apologize. In another case, a US soldier was accused of breaking into multiple homes near Panjwa and then killing 17 Afghans, mostly women and children. The action sparked huge protests and then the Taliban withdrew from discussions from the US and Afghan government. Then the government in Afghanistan changed, talks resumed, and the US and Taliban struck a settlement known as the US-Taliban Agreement. According to the deal, the Taliban will not use Afghan soil to harm the United States or its allies and will engage in a dialogue with other Afghan groups to create an Afghanistan that is at peace. The US agreed to withdraw its military from Afghanistan in exchange. In Afghanistan, something extremely significant is taking place right now for the sake of peace. It is the intra-Afghan negotiation, which refers to the talks between Taliban and other Afghan groups, and these intra-Afghan negotiations will decide the future of Afghanistan. But many experts like Ibrahim Bahis say that the talks are extremely slow, and this is caused by the large gap between the negotiating sides. Now that the US is getting out of Afghanistan, the future of Afghanistan is not looking bright. The Taliban is retaking control of Afghanistan, sweeping many areas and key towns in process. Afghan security personnel routinely surrender without any struggle, handling up their military vehicles and US supplied weaponry to the Taliban. Taliban allegedly took control of a vital border crossing between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Madhya Afzal, an expert at Brookings Institute think tank, says civil war in Afghanistan is highly likely, and according to the new intelligence assessment, Afghan government could collapse 6 months after US withdrawal. From school children to journalists, everyone is suffering. Innocent Afghans are murdered, and the international community should not look away, and the international community must help the people in Afghanistan.